in theory, I'm back. I don't know what happened. I think our router just needed to be reset. Ryan came in and messed with it, and it works now. So, let's get back to work. Let us get back to work. Gosh, this thing looks ugly. Gotta get these little... I am! Yes, hi Megs. I was about to just give up, but Brian is a tech person, and he was like, no, here, let's just do this, and he fixed it, so... he is the real stream MVP today. Hi. Let's keep going. Hold on, I need to message Brian something real quick. I'm really tired right now for some reason. I don't know why, so I'm going to see if he will hand deliver some caffeine to me. Hi lass. Hi stag. Hello governor. How's it going? Right now we're... I slept a lot last night. I even slept in today. And when I say I slept in, I mean I slept until 7:30, which normally I've been waking up at like 6:45. And that's just like when I've been waking up naturally. So it's not like I'm like setting an alarm, but I slept in till 7:30 today. Got an extra little bit of sleep. And yet, I am tired. And I think I went to bed at like 10:30 last night. Who knows? Maybe it's just my body trying to procrastinate. Aw, I made it uneven. Maybe. I'm not a nap person though. I'm just like, ooh, a nap sounds so nice and cozy right now, and then I just lay there and I'm just like, how do I relax? What Christmas things did you say you're making, Megs? Halloween. Yes. We're getting right spoopy. We're getting bloody spoopy up in here. Ooh. I like how they look laid out like that. I still have almost done no decorating of my own. Christmas trees, gnomes, and Santas. Ah, very nice. Gnomes. Gnomes are cute. I have a little garden gnome. My friend many years ago gave it to me. Christmas doesn't exist. I don't want to hear it. What? What do you mean? Ah, you're the Grinch. I always knew it. I should have guessed sooner. Also, thank you, Megs. I appreciate that. Alright, here's our ugly little castle outlines. And then we'll do this one, which is just kind of more taking a lunch break from foiling. Very nice. Foiling gets real old. Real old, real fast. Christmas doesn't exist? I'm so triggered by that, Stag. What do you mean? Not liking Christmas means you're older. I love Christmas though. I guess, does that mean I'm gonna be young forever because I love Christmas? Also, yes, they are time consuming. Dan, how are you doing? These things are like, I love them, but they're also kind of the bane of my existence. If that sort of like duality can exist. Sometimes we love the things that we despise. So, you drove 2 hours for some glass this weekend. That's what you call an addiction. 2 hours north of you. That's a pretty long drive. Was it 2 hours one way? Like 4 hours total? Or 1 hour one way? Hi, do you want to be a marker that works? Thanks. We got this crickly old tower here. Crumbly old crickly tower. Christmas was like just last month. It can't be Christmas already. Ugh! Good lord. I haven't been to any glass shops that far away before. How much did you end up getting? How many sheets? It does feel like this year has gone by so quickly that it makes me nauseous. It does feel like it was just last month. 2021 is almost over. What? You what? Not almost. We still got quite a lot of time, but my goodness, did it go by quickly. What happened this year? Crumbly old crickety tower. You might want to get that checked out. Sounds very unpleasant. Okay, here's our crickly, crumbly tower. Ooh. Alright, let's get into some painting. I really want to actually start painting, and those ones are a little bit more time consuming. I want to get the little graveyard out of the way. So we'll start with this one first. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is go in with my thicker black. It's not a shop per se. This lady had stained glass shop about 20 years ago and is selling her glass. Ah, very nice. Ooh. So you got some nice glass picks, I assume? "24/7 foam rolling right now." Why are you so crickety? See how, like, it's just like this stuff is super, super opaque. It is a little bit more difficult to spread around too, just because it's older, but it's not too bad. You just have to ask for assistance from the stained glass gods with this paint. So it's like a guy with a large trench coat you have to meet down an alley with glass coming out of all of his pockets. Something like that, sounds like. Something like that. Now, whenever you're painting, especially something this small, you have to keep in mind that parts of it are going to be covered by the foil. So you're going to want to make it a little bit bigger, like at least if you're painting like on an edge like this, you're going to want to make it a little bit wider than you think you want it. That way it doesn't just get like hidden by the foil. Awesome. You have your own bin. That's a nice setup. That's it's kind of how I feel with the place that I get glass. It's not that personal, but she has a lot of stuff.
Yay, thank you.
Hopefully that wasn't ear shattering. For this, I'm using the biggest liner brush that I have, but it actually works really, really well for the tiny details, at least for me. Who knows? We were using this month as a test to see if both of us could even stream, just because of our limited data. I think we can though, but it'll definitely put a strain on the data. Like, we're over this month by 30 gigs. But it doesn't seem to be affecting it too much. She's not in a rush to sell everything, and she has glass that you can no longer find, nor companies that are no longer in business. Ooh, that's amazing. You have a little treasure trove right there. Little treasure trove. Alright, let's paint our big tombstone. Oh, I never finished Graveyard Keeper. I should go back to that. God, I have no idea where I was though. It's been like 2 months since I played that game. People trying to get their stained glass fixed during the end of the world. Although honestly, if we're being honest, I don't know if I'm gonna want to go to Miami or like the South Florida region in a zombie apocalypse. Just cause, like, think about it, like zombie apocalypse, all of the bodies in the Everglades from like gang activity, they would come to life in a zombie apocalypse. So you trying to go through the Everglades? I keep freezing. Gosh darn it. If you can still hear me, say something in the chat. Literally just say something. Desmond, do you guys know each other? What the heck? Okay, great. Thank you. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Also, hello Desmond, how's it going? I never properly greeted you. I like your bear. Your bear profile picture. It's nice. What? She has a sheet of black glass with specks of gold in it? How much is that though? Alright, that one is good. We still have to paint the white on the moon, but we can do that later. We have to do that later, actually. What? She got it appraised about 5 years ago and was told $1,000. Insane. I feel like Colorado Glassworks needs to do something with that glass. Alright, I'm gonna try using the newer paint that I have, the newer black paint. I don't know how well you can tell, but it is much more transparent, but it is easier to work with. So we can just layer it on. Ugh, don't even tempt me. Don't even tempt me. I still have all of my sheets of glass in my friend's house. She's kind enough to let me store it in her house while I am still unpacking my entire life. I haven't even been working on unpacking and figuring out my shed situation over here. Hello, good morning. How are you doing? We're working on spooky things. There are these little castles in this graveyard, and then there's like spooky bats. Ooh. Gosh, it is so transparent. It's ridiculous. Makes me wonder, like, how many people I'm like, yeah, use this paint. And then they're like, this doesn't look like our paint at all. Love your little graveyard. Thank you. I'm only making 5 of each of these, so I'm not going as crazy as I did with the last shop update. Last shop update I made like 100, I think there were 103 items in total that I made, whereas this one, I think there's about 60, around about 60-ish total. Like, you know, with all the little charms and stuff. Last update was a doozy. A doozy. This is not gonna work. We have to use the older paint because it's thicker. It's our Glass Addicts group. That's a confession right there. I would say the same thing about myself, honestly, although most of the glass that I buy nowadays, I buy it because I need it for a project, and then, you know, like, I don't use all of it. I don't know if you guys just heard that, like, acorn or something fall on my shed, but my heart just about stopped. So frickin' annoying. Happens all the time too. You would think I would be used to it by now, but I'm not. I feel like I just need a little, just the tiniest bit of paint thinner for my black. Just the tiniest bit. But I mean, like, if you have the ability to pay for it, and it's something that you enjoy doing, and you plan on doing stuff in the future, like, just whatever. I used to be really into, like, like save every penny that you make, blah blah blah. And now I'm a little bit, I've found a balance, and now I'm just a little bit more like, what's the point of having money if you don't spend a little bit? I hope I'm not enabling spending addictions by saying that. Now, do I do that and like spend money on myself? Not really. I've gotten a little bit better about it, but I despise spending money for the most part. It's like, oh, what if, what if, what if? Look at that spooky little graveyard, my goodness. Speaking of spending money, this is like the perfect example. The other day I was talking to some friends, and one of them is the main artist for a game called Diluvian Ultra, and it's all like pixel art. It's really cool. And I got the program that he uses called Sprite, and it's like a pixel art drawing program thing. It's really cool. But I got it, and I started doing little pixel mushrooms, because what else would I make? I posted some of them on Discord, but it's been quite a while since I just got to like explore another style of art. And I still want to revisit like block printing and stuff. I have one that's unfinished currently. What is this diluvian of which you speak? Drop links. Stag, if you're still in the chat. Oh wait, actually I don't think links work on YouTube for other people. Here. Diluvian Ultra. I didn't spell either of those correctly. There we go. Diluvian Ultra. Whoops. Yeah, the artwork is super cool. There's the reason why I even know him is because he was streaming on DLive and he was working on a stained glass window for the game, and I just happened to like come in and be like, oh, stained glass. I would love stained glass because it's like all I do. And yep. I know, it was a really good story. Even though I like it's sometimes it's hard to talk, to stream and work at the same time. Sometimes it's just hard. Bumpy. It's kind of hard to see. Ugh, gotta even this out. If there's any sort of like lumps and bumps, which happen pretty often when you're painting with this kind of paint, it's really hard to get like a perfect line. I like to go in with an X-Acto knife and like, or just anything really that has like a fine point to it, and just clean it up. Hey, Deuce, yeah. I was talking about this really cool game called Diluvian Ultra. How you doing, Deuce? Alright, so X-Acto knife. And what I'll do, I don't even think that the lumps on here are perceivable to you on the camera. But I'll just kind of cut them off. Once this paint dries just a little bit, it kind of like makes like a... It almost like makes like a latexy type skin on the glass. Like the paint is just like, you can peel it off. So I'll like cut it, and it kind of helps just smooth out any of the lines that you inevitably, the little bumps that you created. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to be painting over it with white. This, I don't like this one. Let's do that with this. But I still like to get it nice and as smooth as possible, really. Working on personal projects because that's how I roll, on first vacation in a year and a half. What? Good lord. Winter Sky, welcome. Hello. Thank you for the follow. Well, that's nice. So you're just home working on personal projects. What kind of personal projects are you working on? There we go. I think that looks better. This one is still... I like that one. Once this tacks up a little bit, we'll still have to go in with the darker paint. It's a little see-through, but it's okay. That is okay. Alright, let's get this and go in. Learning how to mint NFTs and make the smart contracts. That's pretty cool. I've heard a lot of talk of NFTs recently in Discord. I think they're pretty neat. I don't quite understand them. Like, I don't understand the appeal, but I'm not gonna question it because a lot of people do and are giving a lot of their money to people, so. For those who are not familiar with what Deuce is talking about either, I'm gonna try to, like, explain this without, okay, thanks for lurking. I'm gonna try to explain it without, like, mincing the meaning of it, but an NFT is basically like, it's like a digital crypto piece of art. That is a terrible, terrible description. But people are paying... It's like turning art into a type of cryptocurrency, basically. People are making a lot of money on it, though, so... It's pretty crazy. This paintbrush is the brand E-Boot, and it is a size 2, whatever that means. These brushes are pretty crap. They and I also didn't take care of them very well. So they're not very, they're just not very high quality. They kind of all fray out. This is the only one that's kept its shape, which is why I am preferring to use it for this sort of like fine lining, like adding the tree branches and stuff. Nice. Oh, yeah, definitely. I used a toothpick before. Liner brushes, it's like a whole new world once you actually get some brushes. I was always very stubborn and I was like, I'm just gonna use my safety pin. I got these, honestly, for like just getting something. These are pretty good. I think they're about $8 to $10 on Amazon. It came in a 5-pack. I am not going to complain too much about them. They were super cheap and they've let me paint and do the lettering on a lot of stuff that I would not have been able to do if I was still using a safety pin. So I can do like name lettering much more beautifully now. Like these liner brushes are basically the only way that I was able to do the lettering for the coffin that I made. It would have been impossible otherwise. Just impossible. It still took a really, really long time. I'm not gonna lie. That coffin, the lettering alone took an hour and a half, and then the petals of the flower took I think about an hour as well, because I was having to figure out how to do the gradient effect with the paint. Do you sign your work? I do not. Probably something I could do with these little guys. Like with my paintings. I just never thought about it. Ooh, I use a handheld engraver. That's actually not a bad idea. I haven't really seen anyone sign their stained glass work. But I've never talked to anyone about it either. And people might be doing it on the back and I just don't know. Thank you. Hi, how you doing? Yes, we have, this is the whole lineup. We have our little charms for this, oops, you can't see it, for this shop update. I like to make stuff that's kind of like budget friendly. Giving me a tiny fright. I like to make stuff that's like friendly for every range of, like every price range. So these are my tiny ones. My little tiny guys. These are usually about 20, give or take, depending on how long the painting takes me. These will be a little bit more than my last star ones, just because they're a little bit more in depth, but not too much. Yeah, the forest with the bats, that kind of has a twin to go with it, or it has a piece that kind of goes with it. I'll show you. I'm not done soldering it, so it's really dirty right now. I started soldering it yesterday, and then I just I haven't gotten back into it. So let's Let's move you back a little bit. So it's this pumpkin. You can see the color now too. You can see the purples, like the forest and the little stars. Oh no. Couch lock. Yeah, it's not the same color purple, but it's close. It's mighty close. Ooh, we still have to do the moon. Thank you. Yeah, I want to finish soldering it today. I also I have to solder the fox today. And then I have to solder... Let's see if I can... I'm gonna move these out of the way so I don't drop it on them. I have this that I painted. It's like a green eyelet thing. You can't really see, but it's like a nice green. It's just green. There's no other type of green. It's just green. So I'm gonna solder this up today as well. There's a lot of stuff I have to solder today. So, and then I'm gonna do lead came around the edges so it'll make it look really nice. I have this little fox. There's more to it than just the head and the tail. I only have one of these just because that's kind of what I've been doing, is just making one of stuff. It'll have a little piece of copper wire coming up right here for its little leg. And then I think I'm gonna do some sort of like decorative soldering stuff with this, or at least try to. It's gonna have lead came around the edges of this as well. And then I'm gonna do lead came around his little head. So, maybe. Feels nice to get up and stretch sometimes when you're hunched over these little paintings. I'm always just like, ugh, all curled up in on myself. I don't remember. I don't remember all these pieces. This is a leaf. I think I'm missing a piece. I am. Where's my last piece? Oh dear. Well, there's another piece floating around here somewhere. It's like its little butt end of this leaf. It's like so microscopic. It goes right here. Maybe if I eat this chocolate bar, I'll get up and get back to it. It's worth a try. It is worth a try. Well, Mags, this has been a long time coming, and I have the fortune of being able to just, like, at this point, kind of explore and do what I want. So, I think is, like, I don't know, just, like, mess with ideas, have fun with it. Honestly, this shop update is a little bit more subdued than I want it to be. Last month I went like super crazy with the UFOs and stuff, This month I kind of did stuff that's a little bit more predictable. And it's not bad per se, but it's like I just didn't get as like I didn't get as creative as I wish I had. There were a few things. So I drew it on a live stream. It's an eyeball that has the reflection of a cathedral in it. I started working on that last week, and the eyelid part on top was like super hard to cut, and I kept breaking glass, and I was like, I'm just not doing this, like it's just fragile. So I kind of gave up, so that's my fault. But my only critique is that it needs more cats. That's a good point. I did originally have a cat on the tombstone for this, but I decided against adding it just because it was so small, it was hard to draw. So yeah, the eyeball, I ended up not doing that. There was a bat that I ended up not doing. Now, I could theoretically do the bat. I could still make it, but I'm not trying to like stress myself out and make a million things at the last moment. But yeah, I've had a busy couple of months, so I'm just like kind of chalking it up to that. What I'll do is just really like, once this shop update is done, I'll really focus and buckle down on my December updates. I already have a theme in mind, so I have one of the smaller pieces planned out. I think the whole thing, because y'all know I like to give secrets away on my live streams, I think the whole thing is going to be forest/bear themed for the Christmas update. So I'm going to make some of my my classics and my most popular stuff, but it's going to be a lot of forests and bears and pine trees and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do for that one. So I already have a little bear drawn out, and I'm going to paint on it. I'm excited. Because after 2 years of doing stained glass, I still have not made a stained glass bear, which I feel like is almost criminal at this point. Ugh. Gross. Christmas mushroom! Yes. Oh, Christmas mushroom. Yeah, so there will be a lot of, just a lot of stuff. I'm going to start planning it, like, once everything is shipped out, I'm planning it, and I'm going to get started in the middle of October. That way I can give myself a good month and a half instead of, like, 2 weeks like I had with this one. So, I think I figured out why I'm feeling so stuck. Why is that, do you think? Oh, I understand that. I have something called Raynon Syndrome where my feet go numb if I'm cold. The only way that I can make my feet not numb is to run them under hot water for like 10 minutes. So, I would try to do that. My artistic thought was looking at my shower curtain and taking flower patterns on them and making stained glass. Ooh. But see, that's pretty though. Everyone's minds work differently. A lot of my like creativity too is something that I have to like force it a lot, because there's a lot of like really amazing stained glass artists that I'm not competing with, but like I have to, you know, stay a few steps ahead, and I like staying a few steps ahead and trying to come up with stuff that's like really, you know, my own work and kind of setting me apart from other glass artists. So a lot of that creativity is kind of like a pressure that I have to go through. Does that make sense? I have circulation issues and I just ate lunch. Fingers and toes always get cold when I eat. I have I have similar problems. Ryan always jokes that I'm like not actually alive. He'll like grab my hand and he'll be like, "Here, this is what a living person feels like." This is what someone who's alive feels like. Well, my goodness, y'all, these take so long, honestly. They usually take me about 25 minutes a piece. So it makes sense that we only did like 4 or 5 of them. They just take gosh darn forever. I'll put a spooky branch there. Sorry, can't even see what I'm doing. We'll put a spooky branch up here. My goal is to get all of these painted today, that way tomorrow I can get them baked, get all the paint set, and then I can start foiling and soldering all of them. Luckily that part doesn't really take that long because these are so small. It's just the painting that's most of the bulk of the work for these. Oh, he needs another branch, right? Yeah, perfect. Perfect little spooky tree. Finding the happy medium with this paint can also be a little difficult. just this paint is not like normal paint, I would say. Granted, the last time I actually painted with like acrylic paint was a long time ago. Technically, I did make some miniature mushrooms for Brian with a hot glue gun and then acrylic paint. It was a fun craft, by the way. I followed, it wasn't a tutorial per se, maybe. This one's a little skimpy. Let's add like a branch right here. But I followed this tutorial on making mushrooms out of hot glue and acrylic paint. It was really fun. They're so tiny. Is that a new jar of paint? This is the old one. So this is like the super thick one that's a little bit harder to work with, but it's like a more opaque black. I tried earlier to do the thin paint with the branches, and it just like, they're see-through. It's not, I don't want them to be see-through. The nice thing about this is that you don't really have to make it perfect, because it's like an old decaying graveyard. Okay, last moon. Nice. Got a little bit too much here. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Okay, so it's almost 2. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream early. I need to like get up and walk around and stretch my back a little bit. These paintings always kind of irritate me, so, or they like make my back irritated. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I'll be back. I don't know if I'm gonna stream on Thursday. My shop update is Thursday, so I think I'm gonna be making my like finishing up all my little odds and ends for the shop update. Like making the listings if I haven't made them earlier this week, and doing all the little packaging prep and stuff like that. So worst case scenario is I'll stream next Tuesday. And I think I'm just gonna stick to the Tuesday, Thursday streaming schedule for now. But yeah, so if I don't stream Thursday, then I'll see you next Tuesday. I hope you all enjoy your weekend if I don't see you. And I hope all your little crafts and projects are going well if you're a stained glass artist too. So I will